Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your man, 100 grand, Ross with the Rock Never Stops, keeping it a buck with y'all about this NBA. And today, honestly, I've been talking about it for the last 2 days, so I figured I might as well just do a video on it. But I gotta talk about these Memphis Grizzlies. There has not been a team that I've been more excited about that has become more frustrating and annoying than I think I've ever been with a team that I was excited about. Like, I was excited about the Toronto Raptors all season. I was like, look at this kid, Scotty Barnes, doing his thing. Pascal Siakam's working his way back, yada, yada, yada. They get to the playoffs, and they did exactly what they've been doing all year. And I'm just like, yo, this is dope. They're making the most of it. Okay, they didn't beat the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm cool with that. Bright future. The Memphis Grizzlies, yo, I'm going to be honest, like, they feel like they're regressing. They're regressing and they're getting exposed. But they're getting exposed in a way that's too remedial. It's too remedial. And I don't know if this is me projecting what I think they should know as individual players and a coaching staff. But and I will have to give a caveat here. I have coached basketball for about 15 years. Coached in college, elementary, everything, camps, overseas, teams. I've done the full works. Everything probably short of the NBA, right? But some of this stuff is like it's basic. It's basic, and I wanted to talk with y'all about that today because there's no reason why the Memphis Grizzlies should have struggled against the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's no reason why the Memphis Grizzlies shouldn't be tied up 2-2, if not up 3-1. Like, looking at how they played the first game that they lost by a missed layup, right? You can look throughout that game, especially throughout the fourth quarter, and there was a lot of blown opportunities. But then you look when they lost his previous game in Golden State, in San Francisco, it's like, yo, why are you guys doing some high school stuff? And we're going to talk about that today. If you like the video, smash the like button, hit subscribe, the bell for notifications. You know what to do. Let me start off by saying, when I played in college, I played at a community college called San Jose City. And if I'm frank with y'all, community college is like where D1 and D2 players go because they don't have grades. That's essentially what community college basketball systems are. In California, we have probably one of the best community college basketball systems out there. I play with guys who are like 6'10", could outrun all the guards, shoot threes, touch the top of the backboard. Like, they were just phenomenal athletes. And our school in particular at San Jose City was coached by the legendary Percy Carr, who was the most winningest community college coach in community college history. I think over 600 wins, I want to say. And so he had a system that he had built out for over the past 20 some odd 30 years. And it actually created a title for San Jose City College. It was called Speed City. Speed City. One, because John Carlos and Tommy Smith, the brothers who put their fist in the air during the Olympics, during the Black Empowerment movement, they came from San Jose State University, which was down the street from San Jose City College, right? And so the city of San Jose has a lot of reference to speed and things of that nature. But San Jose City College, their basketball team was also built around speed. And this coach had it down to a science. I mean, he didn't tell us everything we needed to know. He would tell us not so much everything we needed to know, but he wouldn't tell us the full thing. He would just tell us only what we needed to know per where he saw we were at as a team, right? And one of the first things he told us, and I want y'all to get this, because this is what Taylor Jenkins needs to understand, Dylan Brooks, even John Morant before the injury needed to understand. It was a slogan he had. He said, move fast, but don't rush. Move fast, but don't rush. And what he was talking about was that he wanted us to run at a breakneck speed. Like, he wanted us to go. Like, all he did was recruit athletes. I mean, I'm about 5'11", 6 feet. That's the style I played my whole life. fast break, let's go. Pick up street ball, organize, let's go. I'm out, right? And but the problem was, if you rushed mentally, you were going to miss what was right there in front of you. You're going to make the wrong read. You're going to throw the ball away, dribble into a double team or a charge. You're going to force the issue into a bad shot. You're going to mess up the opportunity that the fast break creates. And that's essentially what the Memphis Grizzlies have been doing this entire playoffs, is that they're so intent on this transition opportunity for easy buckets, which was a huge part of their offense throughout the regular season, that they began to play sloppily to the point that it was a detriment to their ability to maintain leads, to be able to control the pace in the game, to be able to maximize their scoring opportunities. It was almost as if they had no faith in their half-court offense, as if they didn't know what else to do in the half-court. They were so intent on just pushing the ball that they were rushing nonstop. And in this game against the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco, you saw that in spades, nonstop. It was just a pass thrown, you didn't see the defender, and gets picked off. Great hustle defense. You pick up the ball and you rush it, and then it gets turned over because you didn't see the defender coming behind you or coming at an angle to cut you off. This was happening nonstop. Now, the people that I did see do a good job with this was guys like Tyus Jones and what's his name? Kyle Anderson, right? Slow-mo. Why? Because these guys don't rush mentally. For them, the fast break, they understand the fast break is not necessarily with your feet as the person with the ball. It's with the pass. So for them, they don't need to run fast with the ball, or at least not at a breakneck speed. You actually just need to be able to read the court quickly and at a high level immediately as soon as you get the ball. Everyone else, like Zaire Williams, Brandon Clark, who else? John Morant when he was playing, Dylan Brooks. These guys can get out, sprint, and do what our coach called fill the lanes, right? You want to get along the sideline, so you space the defense out, you spread them out, and you get down the court before you cut into the basket, right? You get out, get down the court, and then somebody passes the ball ahead. Now, this is what an organized fast break is, and a lot of people don't understand this. Your fast break system is organized. It's almost like a play in and of itself. It's not a random thing. It's not something you just go out and try to go as fast as you can. And this was a pity to see, because had they been able to slow down enough to read the court, they could have taken advantage of the fast break opportunities that were there while still maximizing the possession. Because possession of the ball is what is extremely important, especially when you're playing up against a team like the Golden State Warriors. Because for the Golden State Warriors, their goal is to get as many shot attempts in their possessions as possible to get their shooters going. And everyone, and especially LeBron had already created the script on how to beat the Golden State Warriors. You slow it down. You dominate the glass and the interior. And you slow down, minimizing Golden State's possessions. This ensures that all of their shooters don't get going. Why? Because there's less shots to be able to spread around. Now, instead of Curry and Clay and even now Poole getting 18, 19, 20 plus shots, now they're getting 13, 14, 15, 16 shots. Now, it may seem still like a lot of shots, but when you're a shooter, you rely upon rhythm. And when you are scheming for somebody and you're saying, hey, we want to slow you down, we want to keep you out of your rhythm, what you do is you do things like give them only one opportunity, right? So you don't give second chance opportunities, which is why it was so important for Taylor Jenkins to go big, which I've been begging for them to do this entire playoff series. I know you can go small, but small has to benefit you against the matchups. And right now, if you tell me you're going to have Jaren Jackson Jr. at center against Draymond Green is better than Jaren Jackson Jr. Maybe not at scoring, but at defense, at rebounding, at facilitating, at playmaking, basketball IQ, screen setting, everything else that goes into winning games, right? So going big with somebody like Steven Adams, who can also do a lot of playmaking and facilitating and rebounding, who takes up so much space that requires at least two Golden State Warriors to box him out. Now you do the second thing that my coach taught us to do. And he said, in order to stop a fast break, because you also have to understand, as much as we were learning about how to fast break, we also learned how to slow it down. And one of the things that he would do is he would tell us to crash the boards. And depending upon how good the other team was at fast breaking, he would send 2 or 3 guys mandatorily to the glass on offense and defense. Because what that would do, especially on the offensive glass, is it forced the other team, the opposing team, to keep guys back. You couldn't send them out to go on a fast break if they hadn't secured the rebound. And so what we would do is we would get 2 guys back on D immediately, the point guard and the shooting guard. And then the small forward, who's usually pretty athletic, wiry guy. And then you had your power forward, a little bit more bruising. And then you had your center, who's usually taller. And you would have all 3 crash the boards. And we would do so in this triangle where each guy had to fill a spot. And this ensured that you had the whole rim covered when the ball was coming off the rim. You see, the one advantage that the Memphis Grizzlies really have is length and size. Now, I know Andrew Wiggins gives them length, but outside of Wiggins, they don't really have that much length, which is why they've been playing Jonathan Kuminga so much. But he's still so green that he doesn't necessarily know how to navigate everything just yet, especially at this level. And so that's an advantage for Memphis. So playing guys like 6'9" Kyle Anderson, 6'11" Jaren Jackson Jr., 6'10" Xavier Tillman, 7 feet Steven Adams, right? Playing these guys, right? 6'9" Zaire Williams, 6'7" Dylan Brooks. These guys with size and length and athleticism, crashing the board. What that does is it slows down the Warriors' ability to get fast break opportunities, and it also gives Memphis second chance opportunities that allows them to score more. And it also prevents the Warriors from having possessions to get more shots. And this is how you slow them down. Now, ironically, I don't even think this was the game plan in the last game, but I think Tyus Jones was smart enough to be like, look, the Warriors are getting back. I'm not going to force this ball. I'm just going to make the right play. And in doing so, he was able to get straight to the cup. I mean, you saw in the fourth quarter, he would have his head up so much that all the defenders would space out to the perimeter trying to guard and stop the fast break. And he would end up literally just cruising. I mean, just not, I'm not going to say in slow motion, but he was like, in cruise control right down the middle for a wide open layup. Now, this is the last part that the Memphis Grizzlies have to get together, is they have to utilize or learn how to utilize their size in the half-court offense. Now, I don't know if it's a forgotten art form of how to make a post-entry pass or how to go high-low between 2 bigs, but they need to get that shit together. They need to get that shit together. Because the reason why you want to be able to go high-low and get the ball inside is because it sucks the back end or the backside defenders into the paint, which opens up the perimeter. Even just the threat of Jaren Jackson Jr. posting up on the block or Steven Adams posting up on the block, and if somebody like Kyle Anderson or Steven Adams or Xavier Tillman giving a high to low post entry pass, what it does is that those corner defenders have to decide, are they going to come in to help and leave a corner 3 open? Now, it's a shorter distance to get back out to, but it also puts you into a scramble. And that scramble allows you to attack a closeout and get to the basket. And this is what I think is best for somebody like a Dylan Brooks, whose shot has been horrific and who has been shooting in an uncontrolled manner. For some reason, Taylor Jenkins has to get this controlled. If Dylan Brooks takes another 19, 20 shots again and they lose this next game, I'm sorry, Taylor Jenkins needs to be sat down somewhere and like, look, if this comes back next season, you might be out of here. Because if you don't have control over your roster enough to be able to tell a guy and hold him accountable for how he's playing that's at a detriment to the team, then you can't coach. I'm sorry, your whole strategies, none of that means anything if guys can't be held accountable. But it's to say, if you stick somebody like Dylan Brooks in the corner and say, hey, when we go high-low action, when they leave you, we want you to either take a wide open corner 3 or a wing 3. or attack that closeout in a straight line drive. What we don't want is step back threes from you. What we don't want is you trying to be Ja Morant, because that's not you. That's not your role, right? So pounding the ball inside, crashing the glass on the offensive rebound, even if they just send two guys, even if they just send Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson, right? Kyle Anderson and Xavier Tillman, or Jared, or Triple J, right? Having two guys with length and athleticism to cover the rim and try to get that offensive rebound or tip it out, which Steven Adams did wonderfully. I mean, if y'all watch this game, he was amazing on the offensive glass, getting in there, being physical, occupying a lot of space. I mean, he was wearing out the front court of the Golden State Warriors, just trying to box him out because he's so damn strong, right? Him giving effort to get to offensive rebounds uses up energy from the Golden State Warriors, which what also does? Very good. It slows down their fast break and transition opportunities, because now you don't feel like running when you're Andrew Wiggins, because you just spent all this energy trying to box out Steven Adams, right? Draymond Green, by the time you get to the third and fourth quarter, you don't have that same spry step and energy to be able to get down the court because you've been boxing out Steven Adams. And I might go with Xavier Tillman off the bench because I feel like he has a physicality about him, right? That's going to wear the Warriors out. Because if I'm honest, the one chink in the armor that I'm seeing from the Warriors, and this is the real crux of it, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green ain't no spring chickens no more. The last time they were together, when they were winning all those championships, they were still in their late to mid 20s. Now they're 30 and over 30. These guys have been to the finals many times. I mean, for an NBA franchise to get there 5 times in one player's career span is a lot. It's a lot. So they have miles on them. And if they can be put into a bruising, grit and grind type of an experience, right? In combination with the athleticism to get out and transition, when it's the right moment. But if they can go grit and grind, bring in Marc Gasol, Zebo, and Tony Allen and say, hey, Dylan Brooks, you're going to be Tony Allen. Adams, you're going to be Marc Gasol. And, Triple J, you're going to be Zebo, right? Not to say you're going to play like them exactly, but you're going to bring this toughness, this physicality. You're gonna slow things down and force the Warriors to play a style that is going to wear on them. It's going to advantage you. And I actually think Tyus Jones is the perfect point guard to be able to play this style, because he has a very Mike Conley-esque game. Solid shooting, finishing, the floater game, great facilitator, floor general. I really like how he's playing. And lastly, I'm going to leave it at this. I may need Ja Morant to go back to his Chris Paul days. His first 3 seasons in the NBA, he was more of a facilitator, right? And I think, this is his 4th year, I want to say. This is his 3rd year. So he's got 1 more year, right? His first 2 seasons, he was far more of a facilitator than he was somebody who was looking to get his own points and to be able to score. And this is where I need Ja Morant to go back and learn from what Tyus Jones is doing. Yes, I want you to be an opportunistic transition and half-court scorer, not somebody who has his foot to the pedal the entire time. Because as we're seeing, it's wearing on his body, for one, hitting the deck so much. And 2, it actually pulls the rest of his team out in terms of them being engaged in trying to maximize what they can contribute. Now, Desmond Bane, he's going to be able to get his, right? But guys like Kyle Anderson, guys like Tyus Jones, DeAnthony Melton, guys like Xavier Williams, guys like Brandon Clark, who end up just kind of like sitting and watching, trying to play off of Ja Morant, instead of having their games incorporated into a system that minimizes the wear and tear and shoulder of the offense on Ja Morant and distributes it more evenly to the rest of the players, right? And this is how you get longevity in the game, right? We saw what happened to D Rose. I mean, he was under Thibs, and that played a huge part in it. But very few players are built to be able to go, hard as hell and carry a whole offense for the duration of their careers. Isaiah Thomas in Detroit was probably one of the few guards who were able to do that and come away with championships. Allen Iverson got close, right? But each of their careers ended in their early 30s, right? They didn't get to the late 30s, right? But yet you see guys like Jason Kidd, you see guys like Chris Paul able to get into the upper 30s and have a longer career because of their style of play. So this is kind of my synopsis on the Memphis Grizzlies at this point. Slow it down, be opportunistic in transition, play that high-low, grind it out, weigh on guys like Draymond Green. I mean, force Draymond to box you out, Steven Adams, every single time, right? Force Andrew Wiggins to box you out, Jaren Jackson. You know, weigh on them. I mean, lean on them. Get them feeling your body every single possession so that they don't want to run, so that they don't want to make those extra hard cuts backdoor, so they don't have as much energy to finish around the rim, right? This is how you shift the advantage back to you. So I want to see what they do tonight. You guys let me know what you think that they're going to do, what changes you think they need to make, or what you think about the video and all. If you like the video, smash the like button, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace.